What's their harsh reality no one accepts? You're the bad guy in someone's story, so many of your enemies will never admit to doing anything wrong, but the thing is neither will you. In some situations, people justify their own behavior to themselves. That's why so many people can't apologize and double down on the shitty things they do. Very late, but sometimes you are the problem in a relationship. And if people keep on leaving you, it may well be your fault, even if you don't feel like it is. More often than not, you were both the problem. Lots of us are pretty shitty at having healthy relationships, and those people tend to attract each other. Usually because they relate on some level that people who don't have those issues just don't. You can work hard and make it work, but very often one or both of you won't be able/want to fix it, or neither of you will recognize the issue, and it won't work. Yes, a lot of yes. People fantasize about finding the one, but a relationship is 50% finding the right person, and 50% being the right person. Sometimes you must accept the truth that there always will be idiots who will fuck it up for rest of us. And sometimes that idiot will be you. If Shrek 5 happens, it's going to be a shitty cash grab, and Shrek is probably going to do the floss. Please don't say things like this. I don't want to think about it. This is a harsh reality I can't accept. This one probably hurt the most. Hard work doesn't always pay off. Something I learned my first week in the corporate world, and again even up until all the coronavirus layoffs. A non-executive's value to the company is strictly dictated by which side of the balance sheet their compensation falls. Some post I saw the other week: if hard work pays, show me a rich donkey. Mistakes do define you. The little ones don't, but if you make a big mistake, it will alter your life to an extent. Saying that they don't matter is a lie that will prevent you from diagnosing life problems later down the line. This is something I wrestle with a lot in terms of my recovery from alcoholism. I quit young, at 24, and have been sober 7 years without relapse. Despite that accomplishment, I have alcoholic neuropathy, nerve damage, that will never go away no matter how long I'm sober. I've always thought it's not the mistake that defines you in most cases, but how you handle it that does. There's a few like murder that can definitely define you though. Bad things will happen to you for no reason. I always liked the Star Trek quote, "It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose." That is not a weakness. That is life. For that reason, some things just happen, and that's the way it is. I used to think it was awful that life was so unfair, then I thought, wouldn't it be much worse if life were fair, and all the terrible things that happen to us come because we actually deserve them. So now I take great comfort in the general hostility and unfairness of the universe. Marcus, Babylon 5. A classic show, but I still consider this thought from the character occasionally. Pandemics last years, not weeks or months. To add on to this, flattening the curve wasn't about reducing the total number of infection cases, it was to slow down the rate and distribute it out over a longer period of time. The current precautions we're taking are to allow hospitals to not be overwhelmed with many cases at once, not to completely prevent us from catching the virus. On a related note, the lockdowns are a temporary measure that can't/won't last until a vaccine is developed. That's just too long to wait it out. You don't always keep the good friends you meet. But that doesn't mean you can't make more later on down the road. From the BoJack Horseman finale, and something I've realized and made peace with. I think there are people that help you become the person that you end up being, and you can be grateful for them, even if they were never meant to be in your life forever. Keep your good friends. You become the average of the company you keep. Very few people truly accept their mortality, and most of the time when it truly sinks in, people get scared and want to avoid it. Shit keeps me up at night sometimes with a dread swelling in my stomach. Edit, and just like that my fears have become my most upvoted post. This world. I just had a conversation with a friend about how people aren't taking our current situation seriously and putting themselves and others at risk. I said that it is because people are in denial about their own mortality and act as though they are exempt. I have always viewed the fear of death and lack of reflection/acceptance as a strong source for a lot of societal issues and a tool for manipulation. Beauty matters in how people treat people. As an average-looking guy with amazingly photogenic kids, I get told a lot that I must have a beautiful wife. My daughter used to get free stuff all the time from shopkeepers etc. Wow, she is so cute, can I give her a sweet etc. really opened my eyes. Absolute strangers would offer her small gifts all the time. I am ugly. On one hand, I get very often treated worse just because I am ugly, but on the other hand, people don't expect me to be valuable, which means they don't pretend to like me just for personal gains, and when they do, it's so fucking obvious. Saves me a headache. Money and good looks matter. And if you don't have enough good looks, just add money. Unfortunately, you're right. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.